Sure.
And I was like, wait, I can buy two bottles
yes,
for almost the price of one.
Yes.
And I had 3 bottles in my hand.
You're like, wow, I'm hoarding this stuff.
And then all of a sudden I looked up and I was like, oh, there's only 1 bottle left. So I put one back.
You felt bad for the neighborhood?
Yeah, I felt bad for whoever was coming next. So I put one back. But they had a lot of deals like that where there were random, decent bottles of whiskey that were, 40% off. And I was like, it was they seemed pretty welcoming to a few homeless people that were wandering around and kind of it was a little chilly. Yeah. And they were using the what do they call it?
Atrium.
Vestibule or atrium or whatever. To get out of the breeze. And I mean, they just seemed like they were okay with the neighborhood, and they were kind of a nice neighborhood shop. So I kind of feel bad for that. But
unfortunately, when things like this happen, it's always the NIMBY thing. It's not in my backyard.
Right.
You can't please everybody. Right. So you're going to have this vocal minority who are going to say, oh, the soccer stadium's taking over, and they're taking over this, and this.
Right.
And then you go, well, there's this, and this half mile away. And they're like, well, I can't. And the people are like, well, I can't get to that. I can't get to those places because I don't have a car.
Right.
And people are like, well, there's a bus. Well, I can't take the bus there. There's always an excuse.
Right.
Okay.
I agree.
So I look at my house up here. I was like, if they were going to build a flipping solar plant behind my house, I'd probably be a NIMBY. Because it's always what's happening in your backyard.
Right.
But on the flip side, it's going to make that area that much better.
Right.
You're going to have things are going to pop up. I'm telling you, when they build a stadium and things get going, businesses are going to pop up along that area and the light rail that are going to be great businesses for that area. And people are going to be impressed. It's going to be a great place to go. I'm looking forward to getting on the light rail in Minneapolis, taking the light rail over there, getting off, being in that area down there in a year or two when things start popping up, and having a great experience at a game.
Yeah. I agree. I think it'll be interesting because there's a lot of promise in that area already, especially with Hamlin just a mile up the road, and then McAllister is just half a mile down the road, isn't it? And
you get Uber drivers now. A lot of people probably go Ubering it to downtown St. Paul, hanging out down there. You know, so St. Paul is very smart in getting this and saying, "Hey, come on over. We don't care about the taxes, whatever." Right. And Minneapolis, I think, lost something. I mean, all St. Paul had was the Wild. Now they have MLS, and Minneapolis will say, "Well, yeah, but we've got the other 3 major sports." It's like, but you could have had MLS too. Yep. And you could have made a pretty cool district down there with, Target Field and Target Center.
Yeah. I think Metro Transit's a big winner too, because if it would have been put at the market, there wouldn't have been a major need for the light rail.
No.
Now where it is, the light rail is practically the primo mode of transportation.
Well, the funny thing is that Minneapolis parking ramps and areas will still make a lot of money on that because people will park in Minneapolis and take the light rail over to St. Paul.
Yeah, and that's probably what I'm going to do.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Yeah. So today's game against Seattle, predictions, 2-1.
3-1 Minnesota.
3-1 Minnesota.
And Quintero's going to get on the score sheet again.
Really? Why not?
And Ramirez is going to finally score.
You think so?
I do.
I think it's going to be close. I think there's going to be another. I'm predicting now there's going to be another Quintero pass to Ramirez that's going to be just 2 inches away.
I would bet that will happen.
That's what's going to happen. Yeah. So, I got to believe that they're going to win probably 2-1, maybe 3-1.
Yeah, I think it's going to be breakout. Because I think we've been right on that cusp.
Yeah.
And I think they're finally going to show that this is going to happen. It's going to work.
Yeah.
I could be irrationally wishful thinking, but
Do you think the defense will go more than a goal today? Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I think they're going to at least 2 goals today.
See, I think they're gonna score first, but I think they're gonna score first.
Yeah. Sorry, my wife's leaving right now.
But I think that they're going to give up a goal at a bad time. That's going to kind of shift that momentum.
Yeah,
I think they're still going to pull out a good win.
I just have a feeling that we talked about the left side of the defense early in the podcast. I'm going to tell you, I should track it today. You should probably track it too. How many times they come down the field and go to the left side?
So, Birch is injured.
Okay.
So, TSL will be on the left.
Okay.
And Manley will be on the right.
Okay.
So, they're going to have a rookie on the right. I think it's going to switch today. They're going to go after the right side.
So, with Birch injured, I'm pretty sure that you don't think they'll stick like a scarecrow on the left side, just stick a stick in the thing and say, here, they're a defensive.
They could get one of those, the riding thing, electric riders.
Yeah.
What do they call those? You stand on them and they jump.
I can't do it.
Just put a likeness of Birch.
Put Birch. I blow up Birch doll. It's fine.
Yeah.
Throw him out there.
Just put a man bun.
Yeah, it's fine. Just throw him on the field and be like, here's our defense.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, maybe I guess I shouldn't say that. Birch is questionable. No, I just remembered that. He's questionable.
He's questionable. He's going to play then. He's going to play. He doesn't have to.
Yeah, I suppose. I might have to rethink that. I just remembered the report said questionable. So 3-2 Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm going to go 2-1 on this one because I think our offense is going to click, and I think we're going to have more time on their end of the field than they will have on our end of the field. But I have a feeling we're going to give up a fluky goal. Some kind of fluke, a kick, going to hit off somebody, and then it's going to bounce in, and then we're going to be pissed off about it because their defense sucks.
It's Minnesota. It has to happen that way.
And I'm telling you, if our defense doesn't improve, I think we should just play everybody should play defense and just 0-0 games, you know?
It basically worked for Atlanta.
Yeah.
I mean, that was basically a 9-man bus.
Well, we could do this here. Beginning of the game, we go out, we score a quick goal, right? Quintero scores a quick goal. And then we just shove everybody in the back.
Right.
And just clearance, all game.
So if we get first possession, what we should do then is push 9 men forward. I mean, literally just leave Michael Boxall back there with Lampson.
Fine. It's fine.
Just push everyone forward, overpower them, get that goal in the first few minutes.
Yeah, and
then bring everyone back.
Everyone back. Yeah, that's right.
Let Quintero or Ramirez just stand out at midfield.
Yeah, just clear the ball. That's all you got to do is clear it.
Yeah.
Just throw it up there for those guys and see what happens.
And you might bring the keeper out. Good. And maybe you get a lob that might go in.
Yeah, you could do that.
I probably will turn the game off. But
we should be the coaches.
It would be solid off choice.
We should be coaching youth soccer right now. I actually coached youth soccer for a year for my daughter about 3 years ago. It was indoor soccer, which was not cool. So it was on a gym floor. And I don't think I'll ever coach soccer again. Because I had one kid who was really into it, and I had 7 other kids who couldn't give a shit about doing anything except getting snacks and water, you know. And my oldest daughter played last year, and she's afraid of the ball. So I said, "You're not playing soccer anymore because I'm not going to watch you go, do the whole, ole whenever ball comes to you." My 6-year-old, on the other hand, my brute, she loves soccer. And she gets in there and she's just kicking everybody's shins and started getting the ball. And I'm like, yeah, you're going to be good at this. Yeah. And she had a teammate who would block people off with her 6 years old, would do the whole arm thing to guys.
Nice.
Like to boys. Like block. And her parents are like, don't do that. I'm like, don't keep doing. That's what you have to do. Yeah. It's not her fault. These boys keep falling down.
Right.
When you get into higher league levels of soccer, you have to do that to keep them off the ball. She would totally guard. And I was like, well, she's already well on her way, you know?
Nice.
I mean, I don't think I could ever coach soccer again. Have you coached soccer?
I haven't.
No, I wouldn't.
I don't know that I'd want to.
I wouldn't.
Well, I'd probably try it, but I don't think I'd want to.
It's so tough.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine being Adrian Heath. I just couldn't.
Yeah.
You got to deal with effers like us who are saying, hey, you suck,
right.
you know, and then you got to deal with your players who say, hey, put me here, put me here, put me here. You got to deal with the media who says, you suck.
Right.
You got to deal with the ownership who says, what the F is going on?
And you're sitting there thinking, give me some damn players.
Yeah, give me something, anything, you know. I mean, come on, you know.
I'd really like to have a scotch with Adrian Heath. I bet he's a Scotch guy.
Oh, I'm sure he's a Scotch guy. I'd love to hear him talk for about half an hour about planning and how he does things and, you know, his strategy and things like that. I'm sure that you couldn't even get a word in edgewise with him about strategy, though, because he'd be like, nah, I've been doing this for, 30 years. I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, I think it would be interesting. I've never really spoken to someone who has lived and breathed soccer.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he obviously played professionally and has now gone into coaching. So, and he was pretty damn good when he was a player. So, I mean, it would be interesting to just sit down and buy him I'll even give him a $50 scotch, like glass,
nice.
$50 glass. So we're probably talking $800 scotch.
He appreciate that,
and just let him talk because it'd be pretty cool.
Just let him go.
Yeah. Just to kind of hear his thoughts.
His thoughts on Ramirez would be fantastic.
Yeah. I remember last year, I think it was last year, maybe it was 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. Eric Perkins sat down with him.
Oh, Eric Perk, yeah.
And it was interesting because they went to a restaurant or a bar or something, and they both had a pint, and they just talked. They had, I think it was a Perk and Play segment.
Yeah.
And they just talked, and it was kind of cool to kind of hear Adrian talk about just stuff. It was interesting. A lot of us, obviously, pro sports does that where you lift these people up to be like this.
Oh, you do, yeah.
Godly figure. But they're all human, so it'd be interesting to just be able to have conversations with them.
Oh, I mean, you believe Adrian Heath has a lot more strategy in his head than you have.
Right.
But in the same token, he's just a regular person.
Yeah.
That knows a lot more about soccer than you and I do.
Exactly.
I don't know as much about soccer as, a lot of people. I know enough to be dangerous.
Right.
My problem is that I'm into every sport that plays in Minnesota, so I'm into 5 sports.
Right.
So I have to know things about 5 teams, which it's tough. I'm involved in all of them. But I would to sit next to Adrian Heath for half an hour and have a drink with him would be a very, very interesting day or night.
Be cool to have a drink with Paul Molitor.
Yeah, of
or
course.
Somebody like Mike Holmgren.
Well, Tom Thibodeau.
Or Tom Kelly. Yeah, totally Tom
Kelly would be cool. Tom Thibodeau. I'm talking about Thibodeau from the Wolves.
I think Tom Kelly would be cool.
Tom Kelly would be awesome. I love the fact that he calls when he's doing Twins games, he calls the announcer for the Twins instead of Dick, he calls him Richard. He's like, well, Richard, because he doesn't want to say the word Dick. I think that's but Tom Thibodeau would be cool. I don't know. You watch Timberwolves games.
Yeah.
Every time there's a bad call on the Wolves, Tom Thibodeau's face looks like somebody farted. I mean, he just has this look like, it's like the weirdest look.
Yeah.
Even if it's like just a marginal call, he just looks like he's upset about the whole deal. And I just think he'd be fun to hang out with just to hear what his thoughts are and everything. He just looks so pissed off all the time.
Right.
Adrian Heath has the same kind of, not as bad as Thibodeau, but he's pissed off a lot too.
Yeah, he does kind of have that.
He's got that pissed off look to him. Paul Molitor, not a pissed off look at all.
He's pretty stone-faced.
Stone-faced.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Mike Zimmer, Vikings, stone-faced.
Yeah.
Brian Boudreau of the Wild, pretty stone-faced too. But Adrian Heath and Thibodeau both have that kind of,
And I think that specifically soccer.